All right, guys, what's going on? Good evening. Who's online? Let me check who's online. What's popping? Good evening, people. What's up? What's going on? Hey, hey, good evening. What's up? What's up? What are you doing? Good evening, Aline. How are you doing? So we're about to start. Let's wait a little bit more for students to get here. Hey Lou, how you've been? I remember you in our lesson, I think 3 lessons ago, something like that, right? What's up, girls? How you've been? So we're just waiting a little bit more, so we can actually wait for a bit more students now to get inside of our live. Then we chat about it. So tell me, girls, what you've been doing lately? Have you been watching Netflix? What you've been doing? Have you been taking online lessons? Have you been have you been enjoying your house? Have you been watching Netflix, watching some movies? Yeah, I'm great, by the way. Thank you. Thank you for asking. So, what else? What else can you tell me? Are you guys safe at home, lockdown? How are you guys trying to fill in your free time during this whole quarantine, the lockdown? So me personally, I've been reading quite a few books, and it's been great so far. Kind of like a lot of books, a lot of self-development books, storytelling as well is a great type of book that I love, and also sometimes I kind of like enjoying watching soap operas as well. So that's it, actually. So, what about you? Interact with me. Come on, talk to me. Let me know exactly what you've been doing it. So, I'm gonna wait 2 minutes more and then we shall start. We're about to start. So, we've got 5 people watching it. So, 6 people now, actually. Yeah, you've been working a lot, Tanisha, but also watching movies. Yeah, it's interesting how this lockdown is working out for some people in a different ways. For some people, like they've been working a lot, a massive workload amount. On the other hand, other people are kind just working from home and working a little bit less, like 6 hours per day or so. So it's very interesting how things can change depending on the person, right? Now, uh, just to start off and to warm up our mind, today's subject is phrasal verbs again, but now it's kind of like the second part of it. So instead of like explaining the whole grammar point and stuff like that, we're gonna dive into proper vocabulary. So broadening your phrasal verbs vocabulary. All right. So before we definitely start, I would like you to tell me the things that you remember about our last lesson. So let's say our last lesson we were talking about how to form phrasal verbs. So the first thing you have to bear in mind is that phrasal verbs are verb plus preposition or either an adverb or both of them. All right. So you have to treat phrasal verbs basically like a regular verb. All right. So if your sentence is in the past or either your sentence is in the future, you should place this phrasal verb like a normal verb. Okay. So let's say, for instance, wake up. If I say, I always wake up at 6 o'clock. Now, if I put this in a past situation, I would have to say, I woke up at 6 o'clock yesterday, right? So I'm changing the verb to a past simple, like a regular verb. Perfect. Great. Now, another thing that we have to bear in mind is that phrasal verbs could be intransitive and also transitive, right? So intransitive phrasal verbs, they don't need an object. They don't need something that is happening afterwards, right? They stand by themselves. And then we've got transitive phrasal verbs that we need somebody, someone, right? Now, besides of that, we also have separable phrasal verbs and inseparable phrasal verbs. So phrasal verbs that we can actually mix them, play around, and phrasal verbs that they are what they are, right? So today I'm gonna show you a bit of common intransitive phrasal verbs. Okay, so far so good. Do you guys remember? Actually, I think we've got only gals tonight watching. So, all right, Aline, Tanja, Luisa, Bruna. Okay, so girls, today we are doing transitive phrasal verbs, which are phrasal verbs that don't need objects. So I'm gonna show you a lot of popular ones, and some of them might be useful for you depending on your niche, on what you work with, and stuff like that. As I told you in the last lesson, you don't have to know all the phrasal verbs in the world, which is barely impossible, really. It's kind of like impossible, but you have to pick the ones that actually fit properly your daily basis or even your work atmosphere, right? So today I came up with some phrasal verbs that are intransitive, very popular as well, and they can be used on daily basis. Okay, so the first one, which is a very common one, and by the way, girls, I've got this whiteboard again, so I'm gonna write it down, everything right here, and also on the chat. Okay, now for this lesson to be very, very useful to you, you have to interact and engage with me. So if I ask you for an example, please try to interact, try to come up with a sentence. Let's try to carry out and practice a little bit so then you can remember exactly what I'm teaching you right now. Okay? So the first phrasal verb there is a very common one, which is break down, right? Break down. So break down has so many different meanings, but the first one and most common one is to stop working. All right, so it's to stop working. Usually we use this with mechanical things or even high-tech things, right? So like computer, like cars, like bubble lamps could be as well, like sound system, a lot of different things. All right, now I've got a sentence here, which is, I'm going to type it for you on the chat the long way. So let's say if I say to you, the school bus broke down in the way. So the school bus broke down on its way. On its way. On its way. So, okay, so the school bus broke down on its way, which means somehow the school bus stopped working. It wasn't working at all. It wasn't functioning. right? So stopped working. Então parou de funcionar. All right, guys. I'm never. I don't like to actually resort to Portuguese, but in this lesson, I'll start giving you meanings in Portuguese because sometimes phrasal verbs could be a little bit tricky, right? Now, another meaning for breakdown could be start being very upset about something. Very upset. So, another sentence that I could get you would be perfect, Tanja. My computer broke down. So, girls, tell me a few sentences that could broke down. Exactly, exactly. So, broke down seria exatamente como quebrar, Graziele. Exactly. Very good. Excellent. Quebrar, parou de funcionar. Okay? So, break down. Broke down should be in the past. Broken has broken down, past participle, or passive voice, depending on the sentence, and breakdown, present sentence. Now, breakdown could be also being unable to control your own emotions. So, let's say, for instance, the girl broke down and cried when she got a, a bad grade. Okay? My cell phone screen broke down. Perfect, Aline. Very good. My phone broke down. Very good, Broom. So, girls, you're doing pretty well. Now, we could either say the girl broke down and cried when she got a bad grade. Okay, so the girl broke down and cried when she got a bad grade. And this sentence, breakdown, is kind of like you lose control of yourself because you are so upset about something, you're so disappointed that you could control your reaction. So usually this happens when somebody else's do something else. Yeah. Very good. Exactly. I broke down when my computer broke down. So that's a very interesting. Yeah, you definitely sometimes we feel like we've got to broke down. We've got to broke down. We have to break down when something with our computer happens. Like if your computer breaks down, if your stereo system breaks down, if your iPhone breaks down as well, you're probably going to break down as well. So that's it. Exactly. Very good, Tension. Perfect. Perfect. Now, those are two different meanings of breakdown. Now, the next phrasal verb that we've got is to die out. To die out. Do you girls know the meaning of die out? Yeah, I broke down watching Brokeback Mountain last night. Yeah, so Brokeback Mountain is an amazing movie. If you girls haven't watched it yet, I strongly recommend watching it. It's one of the best movies ever as related to mountains, friendship, stuff like that. Right? Now, let's go to the next verb, which is die out. To die out. Any idea of the meaning of dying out? To die out? Any idea? So, to die out, yeah, you could say it's dying out as well. That's the meaning as well. There is another meaning for dying out. It wouldn't be like exactly the meaning that I was trying to say, but yeah, it could be die out. Or you could even say it's running out. I'm running out of battery. I'm running out of battery. But dying out is like kind of like, you know, not working at all. It's kind of like dying out. You're running out of energy. Now, to die out is to become less common until finally stop existing. Okay, so you could say stereo systems, or another good example, Blackberries. I think it's BlackBerry. You know the mobile BlackBerry? BlackBerry. So BlackBerry, I think it's like that it's written. To be honest, I'm not sure. Maybe it's misspelled. But anyways, the point here is to teach you how to use the phrase of dying out for years. So BlackBerry has been dying out for years. Now, the meaning of this is basically that it's kind of like becoming less popular until it vanishes. Until it vanishes. It doesn't exist anymore because people don't want to use it anymore. Right? So, let's keep rolling. So, in this case, BlackBerry, the mobile. Vocês lembram da marquinha de telefone BlackBerry que a gente usava, que fazia, era aquele tipo toque assim? Enfim, quando a gente usa o die out, significa que algo tem sido extinto por anos, vem morrendo, né? Vem acabando, vem terminando. Yeah, DVDs are dying out. Perfect, exactly. Are dying out, becoming less and less popular. Now, eu sei que algumas de vocês podem ser que não conhecem o BlackBerry, but BlackBerry should be a brand of mobile. É uma marca de telefone que a gente usava muito, que existia, né, antigamente. Eu nunca cheguei a usar, na verdade, para ser sincero. All right, but anyways, now another good example should be dinosaurs died out millions of years ago. So dinosaurs died out millions of years ago. So basically, they became extinct. MP4 has been dying out. Exactly, exactly. Very good, Grazi. Very good. Tanja, perfect as well. Perfect. Exactly. Now, the next phrasal verb, which is very, very common. If you watch Netflix, Friends, How I Met Your Mother, and series like that, you're probably going to see end up, end up, end up. So end up is to finally be in a particular place, or it's kind of like the result of a lot of actions and what happened at the end. Okay, I think this phrasal verb actually is one of the least that speak by itself. So if I ask you, where did you end up? Where did you end up last night? So where did you end up last night? All right. So if you keep doing this, you're going to end up in jail. Very good, bro. So the meaning of this is like the last action, the outcome. No final das contas, o que aconteceu no final das contas? Essa seria a pergunta, né? Where did you end up? Where did you end up last night? Pô, o que aconteceu no final das contas? Onde você foi parar no final das contas? Like in this example of Bruna, she's saying, if you keep doing this, you're going to end up in jail. So basically, like, tipo, se você continuar fazendo isso, cara, você vai terminar na prisão. Yeah, very good, Grazi. So presential classes are dying out in quarantine. Another excellent example. Definitely, I think online lessons are taking place now. They are way more popular and they are catching on. So this should be an example of end up. Another sentence that we could use with end up, you could say like, well, last night I ended up So every time you have to use a phrasal verb, remember you have to adequate this and to adapt to the sentence. Let's say, Tanja, after the party, we ended up hanging out in my house. Perfect. So, no final das contas, depois da festa, a gente acabou ficando de boa em casa, trocando ideia em casa, okay? So, we ended up hanging out in my house. Perfect. That's a perfect example. Very good, girls, indeed. So, the next phrasal verb, which is very common, if you notice, I'm showing you a lot of common phrasal verbs, right? Because sometimes we don't realize that actually phrasal verbs, they are more common than we know. Like sometimes we're like freaking out about phrasal verbs. Look, I need to get this phrasal verb. I don't understand this and that. But we use phrasal verbs all the time. Sometimes we even don't know how to use another word to replace a phrasal verb, right? Yes, I miss parties as well. So much, so much. Get together with a lot of people, just hanging around, chilling, you know. But this is gonna happen in the future. I think a very close future, maybe in 2 months or so. At least this year, I guess. I hope so, to be honest. Now, another phrasal verb is to get back. To get back. To get back. So to get back is to return to the place where you were, where you have been somehow. So if I say to you, if you get back in time, you can come with us. If you get back in time, you can come with us. So I'm gonna write it down. If you get back in time, if you get back in time, you can come with us. Right? So to get back. Okay? To get back. If you get back in time, you can come with us. So to get back is to return to the place where you were before. Basically, you could say, we got back from vacation last Saturday. We got back from the soccer field this morning. We got back from our trip 2 days ago. No, throwback should be like going back but in time, right? Whereas got back is to the place. A throwback is like when you throw back in time. Like that's why we say throwback Thursdays, because you basically going back in time and showing a picture of yourself like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, or so. So throwback. Now to get back is exactly a physical thing. So you move yourself to the place that you were before. Got it? So far, so good? Okay, so get back. Now, usually, get back is a phrasal verb that it passes unnoticed for us because it's so usual that we don't realize that it's a phrasal verb. So, a lot of people ended up, a lot of people end up in the hospital due to extreme sports. Very good, Grazi. Excellent, boa sentença. The only thing, we usually use extreme sports, but it's a perfect sentence. Now, another thing, get back here and wash the dishes. No? Yeah. So this should be more like an order. It sounds like a command. But sometimes we hear that as well, right? When somebody else wants us to do the dishes. But yeah, get back here and wash the dishes. My family and I ended up out the dinner out and go back to our house. All right. So you try to so my family and I uh ended up having dinner or eating out and we got back to our house. Perfect. All right, look. Very good sentence. Anyways, let's keep rolling. Another phrasal verb that is very common and sounds a little bit more like when you give a tip. to someone, it's to go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, you missed the umbrella? You forgot the umbrella, right? Perfect. All right. This is very common thing to happen. Even more for me. Usually, if you live here in São Paulo, for instance, every time you go out, you need to get your umbrella with you because usually we've got different climates in one day on one day. So the weather is just crazy. Like in the morning could be sunlight, you know, sunny, bright, shining, without no cloud, clear sky, and all of that. Then in the afternoon, maybe there's a cloudy sky, maybe foggy, and then the end of the day ended up raining, having a storm or something like that, right? So Tanja, he forgot the keys and had to get back home. So go ahead is to start doing something. It could be like if you are asking for permission for something like, can I move on with this project? And then you say to me, yeah, go ahead. Or should I try to do something different? And then you say to me, yeah, go ahead. Or it could be even when you ask for directions. Let's say I'm in the street and then I bump into someone that I don't know and I'm asking for some information about the place that the person lives. And then I say, where's the post office here? And then this person says, look, you go ahead, then you turn right, left, then you go straight ahead again. Now, go ahead is like, could be, pode ser tipo, pô, vai em frente, de seguir em frente, ir reto, como também pode ser tipo, pô, pode fazer, fica tranquilo, manda bala. All right, so we understood everything. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead in the avenue and turn left in the second street. Perfect. So another sentence could be, we received the permission to go ahead with the music festival. We received. We've received to go ahead. We've received the permission to go ahead with the music festival. So again, go ahead in this case is like, yeah, go ahead. Just keep doing whatever you're doing it, and that's all right. Everything's gonna be just fine. All right, perfect. Very good, girls. Excellent. So far, so good until now. So far, so good. What do you think? So, another phrasal verb that is very, very common is to catch on. I think we've seen it, this phrasal verb in our last lesson, but anyways, it's a very common phrasal verb. So, to catch on is to become fashionable or popular. So, for instance, One Direction songs are catching on. So one Direction songs are really catching on. So this means that they are becoming very popular and very fast. You could say, what else? What's the other band's name that is very popular now? Which the band that's saying that they kind of like perform Summit in the City. Some in the City. What's the name of it? Yeah, Q-pop is catching on, definitely catching on. Justin Bieber in the beginning, his songs were catching on a lot. But nowadays, I think that's still right. He's an amazing artist, so his songs they are always catching on. Now, another meaning could be to understand and finally sink in this information that it just received. Okay, so let's say, for instance, if I say to you, the sentence. Now united. Yeah, now united. Exactly, girls. Exactly. Exactly. They're a very popular band and their songs are very catchy and they are definitely catching on. Now, another meaning of catch on. Outro significado do catch on pode ser tipo, pô, ele só conseguiu entender agora o que a gente falou, como se fosse tipo, só caiu a ficha agora. Okay? Então você poderia falar assim: we were teasing Jim, but he was slow to catch on that we were joking. Ok? So, o catch on aqui seria tipo, poxa, só depois que ele entendeu que caiu a ficha dele. Ok? For instance, I could say to you, I know you don't take hints very easily, but you catch on lately. So, I know, let me just write here. I know you don't take hints very easily, but you will catch on eventually. 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 All right? So let me show you again. Okay, so I know you don't take hints very easily. Que significa, pô, eu sei que você não recebe muito bem conselhos, but you catch on eventually. Então, pô, mas eu sei que eventualmente você vai absorver isso e você vai se ligar, vai cair sua ficha. To catch on, right? Que é bem diferente de catch up with. Catch up with, to catch up with, significa alcançar alguém. Ou então, colocar o papo em dia. Você poderia falar assim, you could say, we need to catch up anytime soon. We need to catch up. Let's say you haven't seen a friend in a while, then you guys bump into each other, then you say to him, look, we need to catch up anytime soon. So catch up seria, pô, a gente pode botar o papo em dia, colocar para conversar, se encontrar, me fala como estão as coisas. O catch up seria disso. Now, to catch up with someone, vamos dizer assim, me, we've got a movie that is taking place at 9 o'clock. Then somehow I forget my umbrella, like the last example that who gave it to us, like Grazielli said to us, right? I forgot my umbrella at my house. Then I'm kind of like left behind. Then I say to you, you guys can go in, then I'll catch up with you later. I'll catch up with you later. Então significa, pô, eu vou alcançar vocês depois. Depois eu alcanço vocês, ok? So catch up with poderia ser de botar o papo em dia, to catch up. Let's make a catch up. Let's do a catch up whenever you can. Então, botar o papo em dia, or I'll catch up with you later. Ou seja, eu vou te alcançar outro dia. I catch on and I got it. Tem o mesmo significado para dizer eu entendi? No, definitely not, Grazi. I'm afraid not. I got it significa, pô, entendi. And he caught on or he'll catch on later significa, pô, ele vai entender depois. É como se, tipo, ele vai processar aquilo e depois ele vai entender. Sabe? É como se, tipo, a pessoa precisa de um processo e tal. Claro! Perfect. Consigo sim. Tanja, vou colocar todos os phrasal verbs aqui. Não sei se eu consigo colocar os significados também, porque seria algo bem comprido, mas bom, eu vou ver com a galera da suporte para ver se a gente consegue colocar os significados também. Vamos ver o que a gente consegue fazer, mas os phrasal verbs eu vou conseguir colocar com certeza, tá bom? Ok? Let's keep rolling. So we've got hold on. Hold on is a very, very common phrasal verb. I think you girls know exactly how to use hold on. You're welcome, darling. So hold on. So hold on. An idea? I'm pretty sure you girls know this phrasal verb already. Could you give me an example, please? Please. Yeah, hold on should be to wait for a bit. Should be to wait for a bit. Wait for a few minutes. So usually we could say, hold on just a minute. I have to get the door, right? So you let's imagine you are talking to someone. So hold on. You hold on, win this game. So hold on is like just wait for it. Hold on, please. My mother's calling. I'll call you back. Perfect. So I could either say, hold on for a bit. I'll see in my schedule. Hold on. Yeah. So have you ever seen that TikTok catchy song that is like pew 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 pew, and he says, "Hold on, wait a minute, it's a chopper." So hold on is like, peraí, só um minutinho. Como é que é? Ok? Então, ou pode ser também tipo, pô, aguarda um pouquinho, espera um pouquinho que eu já falo com você. Hold on. Hold on until the rain is over. Perfect. Another situation. So hold on could be when you want someone that this person waits for a minute. So let's say you're talking to somebody on the phone, and then this person say, "Look, have you got any free time in your schedule to talk to me?" And you say, "Look, I'll check that out. So hold on for a minute." Então, pô, espera um pouquinho que eu vou dar uma olhadinha na minha agenda. Or it could be hold on that you have to manage a situation to stay alive or even to deal with a difficult situation. So let's say, like this example of Grazielli, which was a perfect one, hold on until the rain is over. Então, pô, espera um pouquinho até a chuva passar, dá uma segurada, fica tranquilo que vai passar. Então, tipo, ó, hold on, ok? Você pode falar assim, hold on, I've got to find my glasses. I've got to find my glasses. So basically, the meaning is, pô, peraí, que eu tô procurando meus óculos aqui, cara. Tá tipo, pô, tô numa situação um pouco difícil. Então, hold on é tipo, espera um pouquinho, dá uma segurada. Okay? Could be in a hard situation, in a very complicated situation, complex situation where you have to manage somehow, and sometimes also when you have to wait for a minute. Hold on, you're the Spider-Man? Yeah, so that should be very, very funny. Yeah, girls, I love your creativity. So let's keep moving. Now we're almost about to get this done. Now we've got to move in. Move in. Move in. To move in. All right? So usually we use to move in when we are talking about someone who is kind of like start living in a place. So you could say, "Oh, my girlfriend just moved in with me. My college colleagues just moved in with me." So to move in is when significa que você está mudando para algum lugar, você está se mudando para viver em algum lugar, ok? Esse seria o significado de move in. Now, you've got a perfect sentence here, which is he's moving in with his friends from college. Então, pô, ele tá se mudando de casa, tá indo para uma casa junto uns amigos da faculdade. So, he's moving in. He's moving in with his friends college. Oh, congrats. You just moved into a new house. That's nice to hear. So I'll move in to another country. I'll move in. I'll set off. I think would be better, but move in could be kind of like, it depends. And move on. Move on is a little bit different, guys. Move on is like continues, like, how can I explain that? Move on é tipo, pô, segue em frente, segue o baile. That should be move on. All right, guys. So if I say to you, move on and forget about this, just move on. Just move on. Tipo, esquece isso aí e manda bala. Move on. Yeah, perfect. Another perfect example. She doesn't want you anymore. Move on. Ok? Então, ó, continua, esquece. Ok? Get over. It's like usually we say move on and get over together. Okay, guys, I think this is the perfect explanation right there. So, yeah, second value is very funny, isn't it? But it's the perfect example. So usually we say get over her and move on. Então, pô, esquece, supera isso aí e segue em frente. Move on, right? Let's keep rolling. What about set off? To set off. We are almost done, guys. So to set off. To set off is to start on a trip. And usually you don't come back. You don't go back. To set off. It's one-way trip. So I'm setting off to Europe this year. I'm setting off to Asia. She'll set off in the next 2 years to the United States. So to set off. Okay. So we could use in a sentence like this. What time? Jeez. So what time do we set off tomorrow? Okay, that should be a question actually. So question mark. Or either we set off at 6 o'clock, right? So to start on a trip, usually is a trip, one-way trip. You don't come back. You don't go back. Yeah, I wish I was setting off to Europe. Yeah, it would be great, wouldn't be? Now, I set off to the online classes. So in this case, Grazi, I'm afraid you couldn't be using set off to the online classes because usually set off is related to a trip, a voyage, or a travel. Not for exactly beginnings of lessons and stuff like that, okay? Got it? But nice try though. Nice try though. I really like you guys interacting with me. It's a perfect. I love when you students interact with me. On the first weekend after the quarantine is over, I'll set off to the beach. Yeah, I'll set off to the beach. Perfect. Very good example. Now, the last but not least phrasal verb that is very common and you could definitely use on daily basis is to show up. To show up. Showed up. So, show up means to appear or either to be seen. To be seen. And so you could say, I didn't show up for the class today. I didn't show up for the concert. I didn't show up for my work today. I won't show up for our gathering. I won't show up for our meeting. So to show up means to appear. Show up. Show up. Show up. So You could either say the virus, let's say about quarantine now, we're talking about virus. The virus does not show up in blood tests. So, the virus does not show up in blood tests. Now, here, esse show up seria tipo, pô, não aparece, não dá para ver, né? Não dá para ver nos testes de sangue. Mas você também poderia falar, he didn't show up for class today. He didn't show up for class today. O que significa isso? He didn't show up for class today. Então aqui significa, na verdade, pô, ele não apareceu, não teve a presença dele, ele não estava lá. He didn't show up, ok? Você poderia falar, I'll show up for you later. I'll be there later. Então significa de aparecer. Pode ser tanto desse primeiro exemplo, do teste de sangue, pô, não deu para ver no teste de sangue o vírus, então não apareceu, não conseguiu ver, como de aparecer de presencialmente, ok? Don't show up. Don't come out. Don't start carrying. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Don't show up. Don't come out. Don't start caring about me now. Perfect. So don't show up. Então, não apareça, não saia, não saia de casa, não vem para cá e não comece a se importar comigo agora. Don't start caring about me now. Okay? So, people, students, my lovely students, thank you for the lesson today. If you like this lesson, if you like this lesson, please give me a punch. Do you people remember that? Our sign, our secret shake hands actually. Do you remember that? So give me a punch if you enjoyed this lesson, if this was helpful to you. Right? So give me a punch, and then we can wrap it up this lesson properly. All right. All right, guys. All right. So thank you a lot for your audience. So our support of ChatClass Brazil, they just put in all the phrasal verbs right below. Actually, yeah, right below and above as well. So if you need anything, don't hesitate in looking over on a dictionary, go over Cambridge Dictionary. There's going to be a bunch of examples for you. Try to practice those phrasal verbs, write down sentences, and learn by heart them so you can get along with that easily. I'm telling you, if you practice a little bit every day, you're definitely going to understand. Galera, se vocês quiserem praticar também, não esquece de dar uma olhadinha no nosso quiz, tá? Super legal. Vai ter um monte de phrasal verbs lá para vocês praticarem. Muito obrigado aí pela aula. Não se esqueçam de se inscrever no canal. Seguir a gente lá no Insta da ChatClass Brasil também. Me seguir lá no Insta, no TikTok, Shark Rafa. E, enfim, obrigado aí pela audiência de vocês. E é isso. Thank you guys. Thank you for your company. It was a very lovely lesson. I enjoyed a lot. Thank you for your interaction as well. And I'll see you people next week on Tuesday, same time, same place. Bye bye. Have a great evening and a great week ahead. See you there.